Everybody, death was caused by, everyone that we've completed so far was caused by gunshot wounds.
Did the government create the Sandy Hook shooting in order to legislate against the AR-15 rifle? Yes, no doubt, absolutely, 100% fact. There are many facts that support my claim, but today let's just look at the medical examiner on the case, H. Wayne Carver. First, you have to understand the difference between an AR-15 and a shotgun. An AR-15 is a rifle. It can rapid-fire shoot bullets, which are .223 caliber, at a semi-automatic pace, not an automatic pace. It shoots a round, then stops. If it kept shooting, like in Rambo or something, it would be classified fully automatic. Keep in mind that since the 90s, Democrats have been after the AR-15 as a political football. Clinton signed legislation about it, but that legislation lapsed in 1994. A shotgun requires pumping and reloading. Which one do you imagine would be easier to kill a bunch of kids with? CNN reports that, quote, Lanza used a Bushmaster Model XM15E2S rifle during the shooting spree. 3 weapons were found next to his body, the semi-automatic .223 caliber rifle made by Bushmaster and 2 handguns. Yet the medical examiner claims what? That all the kids were killed by a shotgun. He even says he has more knowledge about firearms than most medical examiners, quote, end quote.
Everybody, death was caused by, everyone that we've completed so far was caused by gunshot wounds. Question was, what caliber were these bullets? And I probably know more about firearms than most pathologists, but if I say it in court, they yell at me and don't make me answer, so I'll let the police deal with that for you.
You said it was the long rifle that was used?
Yes.
To shoot? I thought the long rifle was discovered in the car. That's not correct.
It's not correct, sir.
To follow up on that question, how many bullets casing the fragments did you find total?
CNN has used this language of long gun to confuse you. A shotgun and an AR-15 could both be seen as a long gun, but rest assured, only one could have killed 20 kids like that. If he had used a shotgun, he would have to keep reloading. After about 2 to 3 shots, everybody would start running away. CNN initially reported that the gun found in the trunk was a long rifle. For whatever kind of flub that happened along the way, just like trying to convince everybody that Adam Lanza's mom was a teacher at Sandy Hook to give Adam Lanza a motive, then it was found out that she was never a teacher and that was impossible. For whatever flub that happened along the chain of command there, CNN initially reported that the long rifle, aka the AR-15, was in the trunk. Then they realized, no wait, we need to make the AR-15 part of the murder. So then they reported that a long gun was found in the trunk, and it seems like almost nobody who watched the article, unless you have ever used a gun, could easily differentiate between the two, which is something that CNN depended on. But when you look at that, that is a shotgun, my friend, okay? That's a shotgun. See how he pumps? See how it pumps out long bullets? That's a shotgun. If Adam Lanza shot himself with a shotgun, half of his head would be missing at least. If he shot himself with a handgun, there would be a small bullet in his head, okay? If he shot himself with an AR-15, that's just ludicrous, and most of his head would be missing, and also it would be a very difficult and counterintuitive task. NBC's Connecticut affiliate reports that Sandy Hook gunmen had 4 guns, according to the state police. The 4 guns were what? 2 handguns, a shotgun, and the AR-15. If he used the shotgun to kill the kids, which is unlikely, the AR-15 should be in the trunk. If he used the AR-15 to kill the kids, what did he kill himself with? It stands to reason that he killed the kids with the AR-15, killed himself with a handgun. However, that is not what anybody says. If you were a medical examiner with 1/3 of a century of experience, and you can't tell me that somebody was shot with a shotgun, an AR-15, or a handgun, something is amiss about this case. Just like something is amiss about the fact that they examined Lanza last.
You said you can't confirm that the gunshot wounds of the assailant are self-inflicted. Is that because you don't have evidence? You don't know. You haven't checked it yet.
I can't technically make that diagnosis until I examine him. Okay?
Keep in mind that Adam Lanza has no official motive for the shooting, so he's just some autistic 20-year-old who felt like killing a bunch of kids. He passed 8 other schools before he got to Sandy Hook, which kind of implies that there's something special about this school. CNN was trying to build the case that that's because his mom was a teacher there, and he was angry about that, but that case fell through because all teacher records can be easily followed up on by any skeptics, and so they had to bury that lead. They destroyed the school after Sandy Hook, and everybody who destroyed the school had to sign an NDA. Why? Columbine High School still stands. There was bulletproof glass. There was bulletproof glass at Sandy Hook School that was just installed.
Dawn Hawksprung, the principal, she had just installed this new security system. You couldn't walk in the school after 9:30 in the morning. I mean, he basically shot through the glass to get in.
Which was supposed to be bulletproof glass.
Okay, and the AR-15 somehow magically shot through bulletproof glass. You have to be rung in.
Day was getting underway, had been underway for about 30 minutes. There was a meeting happening up here involving the principal, the vice principal, a school psychologist, and several other adults in this area. Then, around 9:40, as best we can tell from witnesses, just 10 minutes later, it would appear that's when the gunman enters the building. How did he do it? Jason Carroll just mentioned a minute ago the new security system right up here. We're not sure how he got past that or if it had been locked up at that point.
The New York Post reported a picture of the gun in the trunk. That is not the same gun that they show in the CNN article. It looks suspiciously planted, as there's nothing else in the trunk. It also looks like a Russian Molot Vapor 12, which is a very unlikely weapon for a single mom from New England. Look at the cleanliness of her car. Nothing in there but an extremely intense gun, huh? I'm from California. I don't really want to get into all this gun shit, but I was raised by a military guy. And I was in the military myself, and I shot expert in the military. A Vapor 12 is not a pump-action shotgun. The one that they show in the CNN article is obviously pump-action, as the state trooper is pumping it.
There's a lot of contradictory information out there, but there is some new information this morning from a couple of federal officials and state officials. They say now that there were actually 4 handguns recovered inside the school, not just 2 as we were initially told. 4 handguns, and apparently only handguns, that were taken into the school. We knew that Adam Lanza, the man said to be the gunman here, also had a assault-style, AR-15 style rifle that he had taken to the school that was in the car he drove there, his mother's car. But we've been told by several officials that he left that in the car. We're also told that on the 11th of December, on Tuesday of this week, Adam Lanza went to a sporting goods store in Danbury, Connecticut, and tried to buy another rifle, but was denied the ability to buy the rifle for a couple of reasons. One is that Connecticut is among the states with stricter gun regulations, and there's a waiting period, so he was denied the rifle for that. And finally, and this may be the most telling piece of information, on the 13th of December, there was, and we've been told this by a couple of officials, there was some kind of altercation. He went to the school, got in an argument with 4 staff members, and we're still trying to determine what the nature of that is.
So let me get this straight. There was an altercation at an elementary school with a 20-year-old, and it was obviously enough of an altercation to report it because that's how the feds know about it. But they didn't make note of the fact that this 20-year-old caused an altercation, so that when he came back and was buzzed in, nobody said, that's the guy that caused an altercation. Furthermore, there's a shotgun in his trunk. Furthermore, there's 2 other guns in the car with him. Allow me to explain how government truly works. When a president takes office, and it's not likely that that president was elected, it's likely that there's a shadow government that is deciding a kind of puppet show theater that you watch. When a president is elected, they have several plans that they unfold. In the case of Obama, one of those plans was to enact and recapitulate gun legislation, because this is a Democrat issue. It just so happened that this shooting happened under Obama, just in time for them to enact the legislation. The commander-in-chief, the president, is in control of the FBI and CIA. He oversees them, as well as the Department of Homeland Security and FEMA. If I told you there were Department of Homeland Security drills being run at the school across the street from Sandy Hook, would you think twice about thinking that this was an arbitrary crime caused by a 20-year-old with no motive? The government will go to any length to create illusions, necessary illusions, for you to participate and be brainwashed in the way that they want you to. The Department of Homeland Security came out with a primer to design safe school projects in case of terrorist attacks and school shootings, and they released that in January of 2012, the same year as the Sandy Hook school shooting.
Last night at a no cameras allowed Democratic fundraiser in San Francisco, President Obama misstated the kind of weapon used in the Sandy Hook shooting. Advocating for stricter gun control, the president said, quote, "It is possible for us to create common sense gun safety measures that respect the traditions of gun ownership in this country and hunters and sportsmen, but also make sure that we don't have another 20 children in a classroom gunned down by a semi-automatic weapon, by a fully automatic weapon in that case, sadly." That is not correct. It was a semi-automatic weapon, not a fully automatic weapon. Most fully automatic weapons, machine guns, are essentially banned to the public. When asked for an explanation, the White House said the president misspoke. This is not the first time a leading advocate for gun control has stumbled on the facts. Here's New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg on ABC's Nightline just after the Sandy Hook tragedy.
But that would ban most pistols. That would ban most.
No, but pistols are different. You have to pull the trigger each time. An assault weapon, you basically hold it, goes. Blah, blah, blah.
No, those are fully automatic weapons.
Okay.
So Obama can make a big enough deal about Sandy Hook that he cries at a press conference, but nobody lectured him on the very thing that he's legislating about, the difference between a semi-automatic and a fully automatic weapon. No, he knows, but he fudged the language on purpose so that most people believe that Sandy Hook was done by an AR-15, which is a cop-killing, fully automatic weapon, and then he'll have support in legislating against it. Check out this article. Video shows masked thieves at Southington gun shop moments before burglary. How could a video show them before the burglary? Because every gun shop is required to have a camera in there. Ergo, we should be able to see Adam Lanza purchasing or attempting to purchase guns, as the NBC article implied. Guess what? There's no camera footage anywhere of Adam Lanza doing anything, including going into the school or shooting himself. There's no footage or pictures at all. If the feds could produce a video of Adam Lanza trying to buy guns, then being denied because there's a long waiting period, it'd be pretty irrefutable that he did that, but they cannot because it did not happen. The government tells stories, and those stories have one purpose, and it's to control you in your mind. If you stopped listening or caring about any other stories, you would see just how free you actually are. But most people, 99.999% of people, never get there because they never accept simple, obvious, testable realities against government narratives. This was the case for COVID. This is the case for 9/11. Almost everything is just the government bullshitting you to get you to do certain things. And they say jump and you say how high because you're fucking stupid.